Where does all the water come from? How does a planet made of lava and rock, void of an atmosphere and an ozone layer, transform into a planet that has 70% of its surface covered in water? Well, I'm going to explain that transformation to you, and in the process, answer a few other scientific questions that still baffle the scientific community. 4.5 billion years ago, Earth was struck by another planet in what scientists refer to as the Great Impact Hypothesis. And upon impact, this planet broke up. The iron core ricochets off the Earth, giving the Earth its rotation. The core of the impactor then gets trapped in an orbit around the Earth, gathers up all that debris, and forms the Moon. However, this theory has several major problems. Had this actually occurred, Moon rocks and Earth rocks would be different, but they're not. Moon rocks and Earth rocks are in fact the same. And an impact such as this would have only caused the planet to heat up, get much hotter, take a lot longer to cool. Yet the Earth seems to have cooled rather rapidly, and scientists just can't explain why. And even though this is the accepted theory in the scientific community on how the Moon was formed, it's wrong. You can't add 1 plus 1 and get 3. So what really happened? The Earth was struck by another planet, but this planet was not made of rock and iron as scientists suggest, but simply made of ice and water, much like Europa. For those of you out there that don't know what Europa is, it's a moon that orbits Jupiter. And this moon has a thick layer of ice, a vast ocean beneath that layer of ice, and an iron core. Now, of course, the planet that impacted the Earth was much larger than Europa. It had the same basic properties. A thick layer of ice that surrounded it, a massive ocean beneath that layer of ice, an iron core, and one other thing. One more thing that scientists believe is on Europa. This planet had life. Aquatic life forms, microorganisms. The point is, the planet that impacted the Earth 4.5 billion years ago brought all of the water and its life. Let me explain. As this icy giant got ever closer to the Earth and the Sun, it would have begun to heat up, actually melt. But unlike a comet where you have the outgassing in the tail, this planet melts within itself, actually increasing its liquid mass. But upon impact, it still has a thick layer of ice. And as it impacts the Earth, this ice and water creates rock and steam. And this rock and steam surrounds the Earth, trapping the Earth's mantle, forming the Earth's crust. Now once the crust had formed, oceans would start to fill, life forms would be dispersed throughout these oceans, and then bang! The core of the impactor strikes the Earth, blasting up all that newly formed rock into space. The core then ricochets off the Earth, depositing the rest of its water, life forms, most of its ice, leaving the Earth a new rotation, water, life, newly forming atmosphere. The core of the impactor then gets trapped in an orbit around the Earth, gathers up all that newly formed rock and debris, and forms the Moon. Now, of course, some of that rock and ice would have escaped the Earth's gravitational pull. Those would become asteroids and comets. One of those comets even comes home every 70 some odd years. You probably know the name of that comet. Well, I hope this has answered your question on how Earth got its water. My name's Rex Thomas. And remember, without water, there is no life. Protect your oceans, lakes, rivers, and streams. Be well to one another. We all come from the same place.